Growing racial tension prompts a community forum, a petition to make OU a sanctuary, and pipeline protests reach Oklahoma. This is OU Nightly. With tensions running high on the heels of race-related incidents, students gathered this week inside the Beard Lounge for a conversation about bringing the OU community together.
The forum was driven by a series of campus demonstrations, confrontations, and messages of hate brought to OU mostly by outsiders. One of the most contentious happened when this campus preacher delivered hate messages to students and was removed on orders of President David Boren. At the forum, mostly minority students discussed their safety and concerns surrounding the campus landscape. It also focused on how to handle conversations with people who have differing opinions. The goal of the gathering was to have students feel as a collective part of the university.
To really tackle the climate of the university, we have to understand that we're moving into a time now with new elections and things of that nature, where students just need to feel like their voices are being heard. Where students can feel like they have a place at this university. I think it's very important that we understand that.
In the face of the racial tension and hostile protests on campus, some are petitioning to declare the university a sanctuary for undocumented immigrants and other marginalized communities. Alicia Carter, an employee for the university, created the petition on November 15th. In a statement to the Daily, Carter said she hopes the petition will create dialogue along with ideas for more action strategies. She also wants to go beyond using symbolism for solidarity.
And if you're one of the tens of thousands of Oklahomans hitting the road for Thanksgiving, the Oklahoma Department of Transportation has some valuable information for you. ODOT has released a detailed list of construction projects and road issues that you might encounter heading to Grandma's or wherever you're headed. For the whole list, go to www.ok.gov/ODOT.
And Anna, we keep getting more surprised by the hot weather. Every morning we wake up and It's hotter outside at the end of November.
I know. Kylie, could we be surprised by maybe a little cold weather?
We can later on this evening, but the story of right now, hot, windy, and sunny. If you look far off east from central Oklahoma, those are those dissipating showers that move through our area later on this morning. Now, we do have the possibility for some severe weather in that eastern half of the state, but I'll be talking more about that later. Current temperatures outside right now. Look at that panhandle. That's that cold front that we are expecting to move through later on this evening. You can also tell with how strong those winds are. 25 miles per hour out in the panhandle right now. That is helping bring through that cold front, and I'll be talking about that and more. But for right now, back to you guys, the desk.
Thanks, Kylie. And pipeline construction in North Dakota has provoked months of protest, sending waves of demonstration across the United States. OU Nightly's Allie Stratton shows us how Oklahomans are rising up and taking part.
In response to a rallying cry from North Dakota, Oklahomans are gathering, not just to object to the Dakota Access Pipeline, but state pipelines too.
There are just hundreds of pipelines just in Oklahoma. There's one coming right through my town, Norman, Oklahoma.
Frances, longtime environmental activist, says her main goal is preserving the planet for future generations.
All of these young people are going to feel these horrible effects of climate change. We could mediate this, but if we keep waiting, it's going to become impossible.
The outcry against oil pipelines has united environmental advocates like Frances with Native Americans who fear big oil is infringing on their lands. Ashley McCrae is a member of the absentee Shawnee tribe of Oklahoma and Lakota tribes in North Dakota.
Both of these pipelines affect my tribes. My mother's people up north and my father's people down here in Oklahoma.
McCrae founded Stop the Plains All-American Pipeline, a group that opposes a pipeline that would run from Cushing through Norman.
It's not just Dakota Access that people are fighting, that the fight is right here in our own backyard, that we see it, like we see Chesapeake right here, and we experience frac quakes regularly to where we're almost acclimated and used to it. That's what's scary.
Members of the group say they hope to generate change in the state government.
We're proving the oil industry wrong that Oklahoma is tired of oil and gas extraction, and that we're ready for a just transition towards clean, renewable energy.
And though activists have succeeded in delaying construction of some pipelines, companies don't show any sign of permanently halting construction. Allie Stratton, OU Nightly.
The Dakota Access Pipeline won't directly cross native lands. However, due to its proximity, an oil spill could contaminate the tribe's main water source. The developer Energy Transfer Partners says the pipeline is a safer and more environmentally friendly way of moving crude oil. The company estimates the pipeline will bring more than $150 million in sales and income taxes to state and local governments and create 8,000 to 12,000 new jobs.
The Oklahoma Department of Education released the first draft of its new public school accountability plan. The plan aims to tackle attendance and focus less on standardized tests. The department is developing the plan to comply with the Every Student Succeeds Act. Oklahoma is focusing on chronic absenteeism, which is defined as missing more than 10% of the school year.
And Abby Green joins us now in the News Center with the latest on that deadly Chattanooga bus crash. Abby.
A school bus filled with children rammed into a tree, flipped and split apart yesterday in Chattanooga, Tennessee. At least 5 children were killed in the crash, and according to school officials, 6 others are hospitalized in intensive care. Police say bus driver Jonathan Walker was driving well over the posted speed limit. He faces reckless driving and endangerment charges. The 24-year-old will make his first court appearance next Tuesday.
Will be under investigation for a long, long time for her many crimes against our nation, our people, our democracy, likely concluding in a criminal trial.
Candidate Trump when he threatened to investigate and prosecute Hillary Clinton. Today, President-elect Trump says he will likely not pursue a new criminal case against his political rival. While not completely abandoning the idea of an investigation, the president-elect says he wants to move on with his agenda and does not want to hurt the Clintons. And Vladimir Putin sparked security fears after Russia moves missiles closer to Western Europe. The move is now widely seen as Putin's retaliation as a military buildup by the NATO alliance in Eastern Europe. And Donald Trump also disavowed all alt-right supporters today. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Abby. Well, still ahead on OU Nightly, stocks are still feeling the effects of the presidential election.
Plus, a local business brings a slice of Venezuela to Campus Corner. We'll be right back.
As you just saw, the Dow just closed above 19,000 points for the first time ever. Welcome back to the OU Nightly Business Report. I'm Storm Jones. The 3 major U.S. stock indices all broke records today. The Dow Jones Industrial, S&P 500, and NASDAQ closed at record highs. Economists say this is still part of the election rally. And while the market is doing well, so are home sales. Last month, existing homes sold at the fastest rate in 9.5 years. 5.6 million existing homes were purchased, a monthly rate the U.S. hasn't seen since February 2007. Economists say the bump is thanks to an improving labor market paired with still low mortgage rates. This and other positive economic indicators mean the federal interest rate will almost certainly increase next month. And a couple of Venezuelan immigrants have found a home in Norman. As Nightly's Lindsay Gomez shows us, they're making the most of it.
Venezuelan food is sizzling on Campus Corner. This restaurant just opened on Buchanan Avenue a month ago. Einer and Vanessa Perdomo are the owners. They came to the U.S. from Venezuela in 2013 and arrived with one goal in mind: to run their own restaurant. In 2015, they opened Amazonian Latin flavors and more, but things didn't go as planned.
So we opened in January, and on May, we thought it couldn't be good. We lost a lot of money, too much.
They realized their location was the problem, so they began looking for a space on Campus Corner and came across this building.
After that, the landlord was talking to us all the time to sign the contract. We said, no, we don't have time, we don't have the money, we are not going to do it.
But this landlord was persistent and kept visiting the restaurant in hopes of changing their minds. On his last visit, he brought a friend with him.
That gentleman tastes red snapper.
At the time, there was a special red snapper dish on the menu.
He tasted and he said that it was the best fish ever.
That man just so happened to work at a local bank. He found out about Einer and Vanessa's financial situation and decided to do something about it.
Because the red snapper, we got a loan.
The man was so impressed with the fish that he helped the couple get the money they so desperately needed.
You have a dream, build it. Never lost the focus.
So thanks to Einer's endurance and his landlord's friend,
Do not forget the red snapper.
and one tasty fish, Amazonian Latin Flavors is now on Campus Corner. Lindsay Gomez, OU Nightly.
All right, I can't wait to get down there and try that red snapper. Sounds good.
I know, Storm, it looks pretty good. It made me a little bit hungry.
Thank you, Storm. Well, still ahead on OU Nightly, Blakely Durham will recap last night's football game in Mexico City.
And Kylie Caps is here with another look at today's weather.
It's quiet outside right now, but there is impending severe weather. I'll have that and more coming up next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Kylie Caps. It's quiet outside right now after that line of showers and thunderstorms pushed their way through central Oklahoma earlier this morning. You can see that line of showers does extend all the way up to the Dakotas, where it's dumping snow. A little different than here in Oklahoma, where we are way above average for temperature-wise this time of year. But later on this evening, though, there is a chance for some severe weather, especially in the far eastern, southeastern part of the state. We will remain quiet here in central Oklahoma, but as that dry line does start forming, they could see some severe weather. This is Tuesday by 10 p.m. That line is starting to form, especially out in the southeastern part of the state, again breaking apart a little bit more by 11 p.m. and pushing all the way out of the state by Wednesday early morning. But here in central Oklahoma, we should remain quiet. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a slight outlook for that far southeastern part of the state. That simply means 65-mile-per-hour winds, about quarter-sized hail, and the possibility of an isolated tornado. Again, though, here in central Oklahoma, we should remain quiet. A chance for a shower or thunderstorm, maybe a rumble of thunder or two, but should remain quiet again for us here in central Oklahoma. It's going to be a beautiful evening. Cooling down a lot more, though, than we have seen over the past couple days. By midnight, 50 degrees. Again, that slight cool down, decreasing clouds, and those winds still will be sticking with us, just like we saw today. Another windy evening ahead of us. Lows tonight, 30 degrees out in that panhandle. That's going to be below freezing. And then for us here in central Oklahoma and extending off before that cool front does get here, exactly 43 as a low for us here tonight. Lower 40s throughout the entire portion of the state. And as you're heading out of the door tomorrow morning, it's going to be a little chilly, 43, 8 a.m. as you're heading out that door, warming up a little bit by noon, 56, and then that high of 61. We shouldn't reach 70 degrees tomorrow. It's still a possibility, but we did reach 70 today, and that's the 11th day so far this November. So that's crazy and way above normal for this time of year. Highs throughout the entire state are going to be mild and closer to average. Averages for this time of year, upper 50s, and we are going to remain right around that. 61 is a high for us tomorrow here in Norman. Taking a look at that two-day forecast. Thanksgiving Day on Thursday, it's going to be beautiful and pleasant. 67 as that high on Thursday. Sunny skies on Friday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There is a chance for some returning rain on Sunday, but mild temperatures. It's looking like it's going to be a beautiful rest of the evening and rest of the week.
Thanks, Kylie. I know
You're
we're really
welcome.
excited to see some of that cooler weather. I feel like I say that every week, but maybe by the time people get back from Thanksgiving break, it'll be cooler.
And it'll be
outside.
just in time for just getting a little holiday spirit, a little
Feeling
chilly.
a little more like fall, thank
Exactly.
goodness.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Thank
much,
you.
Kylie.
You're welcome.
And Blakely is here with a look at some upcoming exciting events for the Sooners. Blakely?
Thanks, Emily. Coming up in sports, we'll talk Sooner football and their big news in the bye week. Two Sooners are up for some huge awards. We'll tell you who they are if you can't already guess it. Sports is coming up next. Welcome back. Baker Mayfield has been named one of 3 finalists for the Maxwell Award. The award is given to the most outstanding college football player of the year. Mayfield is averaging a 71.4% pass completion rate, along with 35 touchdowns and only 8 picks on the season. He also ranks first in the nation in passing efficiency. Up for the award, along with Baker Mayfield, are Louisville's dynamic quarterback Lamar Jackson and Michigan's defensive big man Jabril Peppers. Mayfield isn't the only Sooner up for a prestigious award. Wide receiver Dede Westbrook is one of 3 finalists for the Biletnikoff Award given to the best wide receiver in the nation. Westbrook has broken records all season and currently holds the record for the most receiving yards in the country since October 1st. And he has 11 touchdowns for more than 40 yards this season, breaking the OU record. Westbrook is leading the conference in most stats for receivers, but he still faces competition for this award, going up against Austin Carr from Northwestern and Isaiah Zay Jones from East Carolina. Although the Sooners have a bye week this weekend, they are staying focused for that very important game in 2 weeks against OSU.
You should play with your emotions at all times. You got to obviously control them when it gets to certain circumstances, but you got to play with a lot of passion in every game, regardless of what's on the line and who you're playing. So, this game is going to be very emotional on both sides of the ball, I'm sure, for both teams. So it's just going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
The 16th ranked women's basketball team is in action tomorrow night, taking on South Dakota State. The team is coming off a thrilling win over the BYU Cougars on Friday and will look to stay undefeated so far on the season. Tip-off is 7 p.m. at the Lloyd Noble Center. Former Sooner Adrian Peterson has been sidelined this NFL season with a knee injury. Good news for Vikings fans though, Peterson's recovery is on the fast track and sources say he could return to the field as soon as December. Monday Night Football in Mexico City last night, Texans-Raiders second quarter. Carr throws this one to Jalen Richard for a 17-yard touchdown. Raiders take the lead 7-3. Still in the second, and Osweiler finds Braxton Miller in the end zone for 6. Texans back on top. Fourth quarter now, Raiders with the ball, and Amari Cooper sideswipes the defense, and they get 6 more. Raiders would go on to win this one late, 27-20. Brock Osweiler faced more trouble than just the loss last night. He also had a green laser flash into his eyes while on the field trying to play. Osweiler said the light was very distracting, but did not blame the loss solely on that. The Oklahoma City Thunder are on the West Coast this week. They play the Los Angeles Lakers tonight at 9:30. The Thunder beat the Lakers earlier this season 113-96. And Steph Curry is an absolute freak once again. He takes 3 dribbles and puts this one up from his own 3-point line. Insane. The basket did not count, however, because it was ruled shot after the buzzer went off. But if it had counted, I think Steph deserved to get like 6 points on that one. 3 just does not seem enough for that. Wow. That was crazy, y'all. I've never seen a shot like that.
Yeah, Blakely, and Anna and I were watching it earlier, and it kind of reminded me of Buddy's last-minute shot last year at the Big 12 tournament.
Yes. That didn't count either.
I know, but still great, both of them.
Thank you, Blakely.
Sure.
Well, still to come on OU Nightly, volunteers get in the true spirit of Thanksgiving. Stay with us.
Be so, make us so lonely, baby. Make us so lonely. You're so lonely, they could die. Now the bellhop's tears keep flowing. The desk clerk's dressed in black. Well, they've been so long on the street, they'll never look back and think us so.
I'm Harley Toothman at the Update Desk. Education Secretary John B. King is urging governors and school officials to omit the use of paddling. King released a letter today asking to substitute corporal punishment with more supportive disciplinary practices. 15 states, including Oklahoma, permit corporal punishment, while it is illegal in 22 other states. An OCSO and investigators are on the search for more bones after the discovery of a human skull in a field in Harrah, Oklahoma. That's all for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Harley. Well, with Thanksgiving just around the corner, many Americans will be giving thanks for all they have, while others will be helping those with less. Today, members of St. Stephen's Methodist Church volunteered to serve lunch at Food and Shelter for Friends, a food kitchen in charge of organizing the annual Thanksgiving meal at Norman High School. The feast has gone on every year over the past 2 decades, and this year it hopes to serve over 1,000 locals. This event would not be possible without hundreds of volunteers and a whole bunch of donated food, including 85 turkeys, hundreds of pounds of mashed potatoes, and of course 150 pies. The Thanksgiving feast is free and open to the public and will begin at 11 a.m. on Thursday. And I know that all I can think about is how many Thanksgiving leftovers and turkey sandwiches are gonna have to be eaten after that.
Yeah, that makes me really excited for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And I'm actually flying home tonight for Thanksgiving. Kylie, you want to give us a look at the weather going into Thanksgiving Day?
Yes, Thanksgiving Day is going to be beautiful. Mild temperatures, morning mid-40s, warming up to the mid-60s in the afternoon. It's going to be another warm and windy day, above average for this time of year. Cooling down, though, Thursday night, another cool down on Friday. So, guys, it's going to be a beautiful, sunny Thanksgiving Day, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Great.
Thanks so much, Kylie.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.